my best language is English. So a little bit. So the good thing is that my father challenged my mom. He took my mom to court 8 times and my mom won. And he challenged my mom's shari, but the judge basically told my dad, he didn't even want custody of me. He wanted to challenge my mom's shari ben, but Hoyo did that because my dad was abusive and she wanted to get away from him. So you get older and you start to realize, the laws and everything. So basically what she did was she did this shari ben because she didn't want to be under the control of my dad so that she could get the American shari, and she won in court when I was underage. And I asked my father, you're flying 8 times from London during this court battle and you don't even want custody of me, because he asked for the court to take dependency of me. He didn't even want that. And the judge was like, unfortunately, you cannot come to the United States and ask the government to take custody of your child when the mother is fighting to keep her child and you're here. So my mom basically was ruled my mom was basically ruled okay with her shari because of that. So during that time, I overdosed and they took me to, I took a whole bunch of sleeping medication, and they took me to this, because I was so sad about my situation. They took me to a residential facility. And when I went to this residential, they said, you can't keep doing this. You almost died. So I went to this residential facility. I graduated. And then, at that time I was in this lockdown facility. I contacted my father because I was like, I want to leave. I'm tired of being handled like this, because in the beginning, my mom took me to the hospital a lot to medicate me so that I don't talk about shari ben. But in the end, around 17, almost 18 years old, she won. So I went through hell with all of that, but in the end she won. But I ended with all of these discrepancies. So my dad was like, you could go to Minnesota. Your grandmother actually lives there. And this is the one time that I met my grandma in my whole life. So I booked this car, the car you drive with a whole bunch of people. So I go meet my grandmother, and that's the first time I meet her. She's living alone in an area in Minneapolis called St. Paul. So my dad flies in. He's like, okay, you can't keep taking all these stuff. They're gonna be sick. You could come to London. So so my mom is telling me you ran away from the facility. So if you run away from facilities like this, you get charged with something called AWOL. It's called away without leave, and you get arrested. You go to juvie. So my mom is like, just come back. So I kept listening to my mom. We even were at the embassy in Denmark, and the Danish embassy said, no, she's underage. Both of you need to agree to go back. So my mom called the cops on him and everything. And then I went back to some white women came and they put all the belongings that my grandma gave me in a white trash bag. And I flew on a flight from Minneapolis to Ohio with trash bags with these white women. And then I got arrested because I ran away. And then they released me and put me in a more lockdown facility. And this is towards the end of the case. And then around the end of the case, my mom won. And then this is so hard for me to talk about. I left the lockdown facility and I went home. Then I decided I can't keep living like this. I'm the one taking the toll with my dad has this revenge tour with my mom. He has Badan he has towards my mom, and my mom, she's very she just has her own order. But I was struggling in the middle of this. So I decided, I worked a little bit and I when I turned 18, I worked at Playem. I don't know if they say it in Svensk what Playem is, that can do you work with. And I ran to Denmark because the laws there is if you don't go back to Denmark as a Danish citizen before the age of 20, you will never be a Danish citizen. So I ran to Denmark, and this is before I went Duck on Ellis. So when I went to Denmark, I met my dad. I said, Dad, I need your help to get my shari, because both Labadin where they had shari. And they said that we need to prove, because Denmark, even though you're born in Denmark, both of your parents have to be Danish. The Swedish law is like that too. Both of your parents have to be Danish. And alhamdulillah, both my parents, they already were Danish. So the lady was like, do you need to have your father here in order to get your your Danish passport? So my dad flew in from London. I was so happy because I was like, the goal is to get my Danish shari, and I always wanted to be a doctor. you know, to get my Danish shari and live with my father in London. So we go there and she gives my Danish shari. She said in 2 weeks you'll get it printed out and then you'll come back. I said, Dad, this is around the time.
halka istaag very interest TikTok boy mi maqashaa
ها واكو مغلاهنا
marka timaade sheekada noogu bilaabaysa so you need to translate, okay? Okay,
go ahead
go ahead marka marka timaade.
So around that time, I was able to get my shari finally as an adult because I studied the law. They said if you don't come back before.
Yar habar waxa sameeyna ku sheega dhageyso marka wax yar hada shid you need to stop si translate loogu sameeyo, okay?
waxay ku tiri intay 20 sano ka hor gaarini inay Denmark tagto waa si ay sharcigeeda u hesho mana ay heli karinin without both parents halkaas aabihii hooyadii haddeenan jooginin aabihii bay u sheegtay intii before aan dhaqan celis liya celinin bay tiri always waxaan rabay inaan dhaqtarnimo barto. Go ahead.
Yes. So then he said the lady at the commune said you have to wait 2 weeks, you print it off and you're good to go. And then my dad said
okay, one markay hada shid translate ba joogo sug haya
inaan baxnay ahayd aabahey wuxuu dhahay tiri marka. What did he say, your dad?
My dad took me to the ATM and he took out $1,000 equivalent to 6,000 crowns. And he said, you cannot come back to London with me. You can stay in Copenhagen and figure it out for yourself. And then he flew back to London to his other children.
waxay ku tiri aabahey lacag oo adiga 6,000 oo kran u dhiganto oo $1,000 ah ayuu ATM ka soo bixiyay wuxuu yiri tiri igulama soo noqon kartid London, you have to figure waa inaa noloshaada adiga dabartid Denmark joogtid waayu idhahay tiri.
Yeah, because my father he said, I don't want you near my other children or my wife. All of my father's children were 10 years under, like they're 10 years younger than me because he waited 10 years for my mom.
halka istaag
aabay wuxuu yiri ilmahayga agtooda inaan kuga arka ma rabi ilmihiisana 10 year camal bay ga yarihiin tiri imu baahneen tiri ma rabi ilmahayga kale inaan kuga arko.
Yes. So after that, I stayed in London. I started working. You know, my Danish was not so good. So I had to go and work at different places. I was a bar back. I was a restaurant. I worked at every...
waxay ku tiri London intaas ka bacdi iska jooga waa shaqaystay tiri waa shaqaysanay Danishkayga ma fiicneen tiri sidaasaan London ku joogay. And then
after that, I got accepted to ECAS Brand Gymnasium to do my IB program because they apparently in Denmark, they would not accept my high school education. So I decided, let me do that. And then I'd be able to go to university anywhere in the world or anywhere I could get accepted to continue.
waxay ku tiri waxbarashadeedii baan London ka sii watay tiri waxaan helay program wax ku barasho ah markaas jaamacad waxaan waadi karaa tiri wadan kasta aan rabay tiri meel walba adduunka kamid ah inaan jaamacad waaday ahayd.
I don't know what you said, but we're just gonna get the message out there. So I stayed in Denmark, and then Hoyo came right before my birthday. Do you know that the summers are very short in Denmark before school? I was supposed to start school very soon. Hoyo and Abo came. That's when they started to organize my affairs. At that time, I managed to save $4,000 in my bank accounts because I was trying to save money there before I go to school. So I'll tell you that in a second. So mom and my dad, I've never seen them sit in a room together. They were just treating me this is on my perspective, they're treating me so nice. They were being so kind to me. Hoya took me to the bazaar. Everything was like nice before I went. So then my mom said, we're gonna go to Uganda. I was so happy. I don't know what happened to him.
No, go ahead.
She said to Uganda, you're going to see family members. And I was kind of happy because I was so lonely in Copenhagen. I didn't have a lot of friends. Go to Kampala, you have a lot of family in Kampala, you know, and you can visit family. You could take a break. I'm like, okay, well, I'm so lonely up here. I'm so sad. I'm trying so hard. So we go and we land in Dubai for a couple of days. And then she goes to the airport in Hargeisa. So Hoya took me by the hand. We're in the airport in Hargeisa. The police come. They take Hoya's shari. And I said, you're going to take my mom's shari. You could take mine too. That's how much I was down for my mom. That's how much I loved my mom, right? So I gave up my shari. It was all a trick. The lady from Meshadahan, Mind you, I've been researching for 10 years. The lady from Eshadahun, she comes, the one who had the ilash, she ended up being alash. This is something very important I need everybody to know. I hired investigators. I hired attorneys. That place was never under the Board of Education. It was a money-making scam. It was technically an ilash, and my dad funded everything for her so that she could make money with him. And this is things I find later. So I've gotten older. I discovered that my dad owns a very big boating company. He went back to Kismayo. He opened up boating company. I've noticed there was politician next to him. I noticed that he's doing all of these things, but my father, I've tried many years to contact him. I tried many years to talk to him. I tried many years for him to be my family. I tried to call lawyers. I tried to call people to do family recognition. But these people, they toss me everywhere. I went on television. I shared my story. Recently this year, I was on YLE. And I told them, you know, I'm asking for public support. I have a video where I'm asking for public support. This time I come in a suit and I tell them a lot of the parents, they don't know what they're doing. Sometimes they're thinking they're doing the right thing, taking their children to these places so they can learn their culture. But first of all, you don't take your children to places to learn your culture, and that's where the unbrainwash happen. If you want your children to learn the culture, you take them yourselves and you teach them everything. You go by themselves. You don't dump them in these facilities because people don't understand that you Somali back home, they don't look at your children like your children. They look at your children like they're a meal ticket. They look at your children like you're going to get money. Your children are money. They don't look at your children. If you want to show, and that's what I did. So I went on television in Finland. They tried so hard. For years, they tried to use my story for propaganda. And I always said nothing about Islam. But then I've tried everything you could think of, and I realized, why am I not being the one uplifted? Because what my father did and how he's treated me and how I just needed him in my life at every moment. And for him to go back, my birthday is the day before Father's Day. So for him to go back and build his country, it broke my heart even more. And that's what I have to say. If people could come up here and translate, because all I see is translate, I want to know.
Okay, isu marka turjuana soo qabana. Ku turjuano.
Yeah, that guy was good.
Yeah, where's the guy then too?
I was there between June and February. He's in the guest. I saw him. He's in the guest. TikTok boy.
Okay,
I was only there for less than a year because I escaped. I'm gonna tell you my story. This is messed up. So when December came, Hoya wanted me to leave. She waited till December because she had business of her own and she had children under the age of 18. So she needed to make sure they went around winter break. So she came for me, but instead we both went to jail. Okay, translate.
Where did you went to jail in Somalia or?
Yeah, I went to jail for 2 weeks in Hargeisa because.
سؤال بقيدينيا.
Hi.
كتاب القرآن كما جت عليها برير.
I did this. I had a whole complete mental breakdown because I was so upset about how everyone is looking at me and how the world was, and I made that mistake, and I can openly say that's between me and my Lord.
Okay, marka maskaxiyan ma adan u fadhin miya?
Say ku dhahday.
Mental break. Horta Ilaahay ha ku caafiyo.
Qomaya joogto qomaya soo qabo qomaya igaga wanaagsan.
I hate me for that.
No. Fiiri habar macaan dhageyso. Qofka bilo aadinka waa khaldamaa. You was not fit.
I lost my mind because I was so upset.
Yes.
It's not okay. I don't sleep at night.
Okay. Kaniya ma qaadatay habar yar oo ku seexatid?
I don't take any. I'm not after all the ridicule and
waxa ku sheegay dhageyso waxa ku sheega I'm not here to charge. ما فهمتين دينتي إذا إسلام كوحي إيش يجلس قفك دينته مركو كبحة إن أنا نعين إن نسود ويستو إن كنا حريص إسلامي ماذا كنت
I've been researching other things because other people treat me better, and I've been getting nothing but death threats, and people are pushing me away, and I've been hosting lives because I don't get a lot of human contact, and I wanted to learn, and unfortunately people have made me feel like
okay idagayso marka idagayso daw aniga mida ku sheega idagayso ma maqashaa
yeah
dadka waa xumaan karaan habri macaan laakiin diinta ma xumo I agree with you Soomaalida qaar baa xun aad u xun waa disaster dadka qaar ana darunta ku sheegaya laakiin diinta ma xumaan karto hadaadan diin haysanin be honest aniga I'm here to support you I'm here to willing you well mafahante aniga ku istaaga Hana la yidhaha hal waxaan ka codsanaa inaad diinta islaamka ku soo noqotid ashahaad kalkan kugu qabto then I will help you xitaa hadaa itira ashahaad diyaar u habar yar kuma dhacaya وكسود ويسنا حبت كشرسة وكشتنا الله سبحانه وتعالى وغفور رحيم وأنا شديد العقاب إلهي قلوبتي سأسار ركرغو أنا كتوري مايا كأفلقادين مايا قبر يرو حتى دباتوين لسومري لسور رفادي I know where you're from حال مرة إيدك محل كده إيش كي كالدور على هذا مين ما خشها برير والجسود دباتيين رفاضة
I don't feel like being put on spot right now. Like with my personal anything, because I'm hurting so bad. Like I don't sleep at night because I'm wondering why it takes so long for anyone to see me. Why is it only okay when I share my story so people can feel better about their own lives? People take my story and they just give me pity.
People are different.
You should bring TikTok back up here.
Okay, وسوء إلا سوق أنا هذا وضح لي نسوق listen here وضح لي كراني أدي I know إن حنا خسنت هاي I know Somali إن Udhibaateeyeen I know إن لقول رفادي I know your own parents إن كوجبان I know إن هوج يبقى صومرتي وحول بوالا صعدا وأنا فهن سنة هاي خالد كان أديكو ملهد حتى الدين إن كبحد أديكو خالد كملهد حتى أكون شجع ولا عذابي and
the only reason
let me finish شيطان وكل درسي I'm not here to judge you أنا إسلام أهي دين تي الإسلام كحي إيش يجيسه قفك الدين تمركو كبحة إنها عاية وحرام إنها أفلقادي وحرام إن أنقف وحكا شيء وحرام
if what you're saying is haram, where is my retribution? Unfortunately, I came to the point in my life right now that people telling you do this, do that, heal, do this.
Don't listen to people.
I only have my page because alhamdulillah nobody's controlling the narrative. Because the media, they tried many times to sacrifice me. I'm gonna tell you the truth, okay? One of the reasons why I left Denmark is because I stopped book contracts, I stopped TV contracts, and I opened up to share my story, especially after the Epstein files, to prove everything I was saying. I've done everything to keep quiet and live a normal life. But unfortunately, when you watch people rebuild everything around them and then leave me in the dust, where is my justice?
And
the only reason I keep my account open is because finally people are sharing their stories. There's a young man who talked about being in Sinsilad. There's a young girl who talked about being in Meshadahun. So my page is the only page in the whole world where people are sharing their accounts of being in these Meshadahun.
مين مقشاها وريال مين مقشاها قروح بدني
I hear you
قف حنمتي you're not fat you're not bad person تاكل شيء قبر يروح حتى هي smart intelligent محل قدها strong وحا أديك صوم مرتي what you have been through قف أتكيسن كلمة شرته you are very, very, very strong woman. Strong young lady baa tahay. Make sure mar walba inay Allahu subhanahu wa ta'ala shalay ku soo badbaadiyay, maanta ku badbaadiyay, biri ku badbaadinaya in aa u soo laabatid.
Okay.
Ma fahantay? Waana success wallahi or billahi or tallahi, I swear to God you're gonna become successful. waxa ku hayo oo dhan way ka bogsoonayeen anigana ballan waxaan kaaga qaadayaa hadaad diinta islaamka ku soo laabatid shahaad halka ku qabsatid in aan anigana kula tacaala aan ka harin.
I just feel so betrayed. The betrayal is too much.
Very, you have been seen so different people. I got you. Aniga dadkaas waxba igama gal aniga Hana la yiraahdaa.
But thank you.
Me fahantaa habar aniga Hana waaye. I'm a different.
Okay.
I'm not the other like other people. Aniga Hana waaye.
You are different because you kept your word. I contacted this attorney in Somalia. He said he would take a card to my dad. He would try to do family reconciliation, and then he blocked my number. Remember I told you?
Which
and
one?
He's an attorney in Somalia.
Ninka Somali, the Somali jooga dani Somali jooga waxba kama qaban kara. I cannot do nothing.
No, they said I can do something in Somalia because he resides in Somalia.
Yeah, but Somali theory, dadka Somalia jooga wax walba sheegaan they cannot do nothing. I don't trust anyone from Somalia qof jooga aniga.
I can see. I don't know things. I just trust people at the surface level.
Yeah, don't trust anyone. The main problem is you have you trust too much. The people don't do it.
I do, but what else?
Don't do it. Don't do it. And I had the kushege. Don't trust anyone.
I am.
Make sure you trust Adiga Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Okay.
No one.
Okay. I have a better relationship with God. That's what I can see.
Islami, wallahi, habri, believe me, the day I shahada qabsatid or Islanima ku soo laabatid, waxa ay ku jirtid dhan waa ka baxayaan. Believe me. Do you trust me?
I just don't want to be lectured right now.
Dhagayso, do you trust me aniga?
I trust you enough, yeah.
Maho, okay. Waxaan samay ku dhaha ma samayn kartaa marka? Waxaan ka cabsana ma samayn kartaa?
Can we please not bring the attention back to me about anything?
No, aniga hadda ma ku push garaynaya. Listen here. Aniga ma ku push garaynaya. Step by step. 1 minute. Ha life asaaranahay. First things I'm going to do is you have to recover.
I'm fine.
Ma fahantay? You need to recover, however, you need to make sure ina adiga aad caafimaaday oo adiga
I'm fine.
You fine. Okay. Hadda adiga fine tahay, it's done. Whatever adiga aad rabtid aniga ku sameynaa, laakiin aniga waxaan Ilaahay kaaga baryayaa inaad diintayda nimcada badneed naxariista badan inaad igu soo laabatid. That's the main one aniga ii ah.
I just want to be accepted by people.
Okay, accept people in noqoto martido. Mida ku sheega dhagaysta marka.
Everything in my life was by force.
I know, and I'm not forcing you to hear. Aniga ma ku force garaynaya.
I just wanted to share because my father, everybody's congratulating him, and people need to know how abusive he is.
I know waxa soo martay. I know dhibka lagu soo gaarsay.
I don't have no relationship with any of my siblings. They don't call me.
dadkiina amniga waa aruusana cid ima soo saari kartaan wallahi wada aruusana amnigayga.
Everybody treats me like some type of creature that we handle in offshoot settings. I don't know any of my aunties or uncles on my dad's side. I just found out from my mom that my dad was an only child from his mother. I asked my father, is my grandmother alive? He won't even tell me. I've never had grandparents. The only time I ever met a maternal grandparent was when I was 17 in Minnesota. They have ostracized me since ever. All because he texts my mom, he wants my mom, but my mom don't want him. And my mom, she don't even have the guts to fight anymore because what he put her through. Because when I went to jail in Hargeisa, I switched spots with my mom because I knew there was nothing I could do. So I stayed in jail in Hargeisa. And then we went to the judge. And then the judge said, you need to go back to your father in London and live your life, because I told him I was trying to be a doctor. And he said, that's right, your dad has not had you your whole life. He lives in London. Go make something for yourself. That was the first time I felt someone acting normal. Okay? You know what my father did to me? He went around, he bought me sharab. He put me in a new abayat, and he dumped me back in the place where I was being abused. Even the judge asked me, why you like jail? I said, because I was eating. I was so skinny. I wasn't eating. And my mom, she got someone to bring me food 3 times a day. So I was eating something different. And then I didn't have sensilat on my feet.
Sorry.
So I was able to have my feet free. And then I was able to go to the bathroom when I wanted. And then my dad was sitting in the hotel. He would bring me 1 meal a day. He was thinking I was eating 1 meal a day. But Hoyo got a Yemeni woman from the refugee camp to help me. She kissed me on my forehead and she told me, I can't help you anymore. The only way you're going to leave is if you escape. So I kept that in my mind because she had young children. Because I was 19, the other kids were like underage. So I went back to my father and he took me to court, and the court was like, who are you to sit in jail? And I told him the place I was in was bad. And he's like, okay, you have to go back to London. I'm telling you the story again. Then I go back to the facility. The lady doesn't even want me in the facility. She says, you're sitting in my office. If you come out, I'm going to beat you. Okay? I said, fine, my dad is coming for me. My dad, I remember the adans go off in Somali. You hear every adan, right? Every adan went, what was it? It would Asr, Maghrib, because it was already past Dhuhr at that time. Asr, Maghrib, that's how I told time. Isha, he didn't come for me. So she locked me up in the room outside because he flew back to Mogadishu. He just came to challenge my mom. That's it. My mom spent all her money. She cried so many times when I came back. I wasted all my gold on you for nothing. But my dad went bat for bat. See? Because you see, the lawyers, they only want your money.
Yes.
And I saw that, but I didn't realize until later. So whoever had the most money won. So now, is that fair for any of us, that what we went through? Because I told you the other day, I internalized that I forgive my mom because at least she tries. My mom, she's trying. Her heart, she tried to come for me. I won't forget that. She gave me the hope. She said, I'm leaving you. You have to leave. You have to figure it out on your own. Because when I went to that place, that woman, she hog-tied me. She beat me so much. She didn't feed me. You know, when you have when you have dig, she never gave me nothing. She took all my clothes and she kept it, and one by one, she'd bring me clothes to wear. There was a girl, she was schizophrenic. They beat her, even though she needed medication. There was another girl. She accepted Christianity because she was so sick. Okay? They beat her every night, poured water on her, made her sleep in wet clothes. You could hear her screaming. Is that how you teach Islam?
No.
Then the woman, after all of this, she made $500 a month. So she was making tens and thousands of dollars off of us. While she's a Norwegian citizen, her husband was a wasir. Her husband was Habarat. She was I learned the history of everybody. She was MJ. So basically everybody gets away with it. Now she's running around scotch-free in Oslo while other people are damaged. Me, I'm damaged. She made money off my tears. Where is the humanity?
I'm very sorry. wax kala ku dhaha ma aqaan raali noqo dibka lagu gaarsiiyay raali ana ku raali gelinaya.
Her name is Yasmin Suleiman. She's scotch-free in Oslo. She's got 7 children. One of the children's name is Seir. I have proof. She's got, She stole my phone. She stole my laptop. To this day, I have Spotify account. You know, in Somalia, you can't download certain apps. I can see them listening to Norwegian music on my Spotify. So they get to just take, and then destroy people's lives. Every day I can literally see sometimes they're playing Quran, and I'm thinking these people stole my things. These people made tens and thousands of dollars while destroying people's lives. There was a girl, they beat her so bad she was pregnant. She Somali, if I'm a good or no, because the Somali that I learned was Abaki Gafur.
Silsilada iga fur. Ha. Sorry.
That's what I said. That's what I knew. I didn't know no Somali.
Sorry. Rally noqo.
Sorry is not enough because it's damage. And then you learn, you saying, why is business? You spend, my father was financing this. So you were willing to spend that money in that place, but you don't want to be close to your blood. I don't feel like Gabar. What I know about being Somali is when you're Gabar, you're close. You're held to a standard. 10 people live in a house, but they love each other. Me, I don't feel like Gabar. I feel like Khashin. I'm gonna show you something.
You are not Khashin.
I feel like Khashin. I feel like I live in a patriarchal society that only cares about money, and every day I see the world is getting sick and my own community don't see me. They don't see how they left me. You spend $500 a month. You can't even, that